Oh, that was fancy.
Yeah, not bad.
Welcome to Open Collar. I'm Corey. He's Michelle. Thanks for joining us. And if you're one of the many, many, many new people that subscribed on YouTube, thanks for watching. We tripled our productivity. Went from 1 to 3.
Now we're just pressing Y.
Shit. What was the? Oh yeah, the Simpsons quote, quote of the day Twitter account.
Yep.
One today was the handing Nelson the note, reading it. Somebody likes you, and he turns and they get the
Yeah.
the eyebrows in the way from Millhouse, and then cut to the being carted out on a stretcher.
Oh, so good.
And we get 2 more seasons of that, but not the good stuff.
Not the good stuff. Just instead of making new ones, just re-air the first 10 seasons.
Yeah. So yeah, youtube.com/Govey and see if you're watching us, because we are kind of not all about, but kind of half and half now, I think, of visual content. So there are some things where we will say about stuff that's visual but not reference that we're visually looking at it. I was listening to last week's episode when we were talking about No Way Home.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, yeah, so that's the big thing. And I'm like, it's not until we get like 2-3 minutes into the conversation to acknowledge that it was actually a visual reference that we were going to.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I would say 99% of our listeners are audio only. So I think the visual aspect of it is, if it wasn't there, I don't think we would lose anything.
No, but I mean, if it mind of the we're talking about something we're looking at, but not referencing to people who can't see it, is what I was trying to get across there. Anyhow,
Yeah.
So I had to make a run off to the mall Bayshore today. For
how was that?
It's all right. Our wedding ring warranty checks. Mainly
Yes.
just because it's got diamond. So anyhow, the short end of this is, as I'm walking through the mall, these 2 guys approach me, which pandemic
Happens often. Like that's a real thing.
So guys, like, excuse me, I don't mean to pry, but if you mind me asking you, what are you planning on doing for work this summer when you're done school?
There you go.
At that point, I realized I need
That's
to cut
not
my
bad.
hair.
No way.
I wear my Raptors ball cap with the massive wings and my Joker face mask, and I'm not tall, and it's the middle of the day, so I guess someone just assumed either it was skipping school or not. But I'm just like, yeah,
No.
no, thank you.
Yeah. Not interested in what you have to say. I mean,
Not at all.
you could have said that could have been a stranger danger situation.
Yeah, I immediately started calling for my mom,
Yeah.
crying. So that was my escapade today. And it was kind of not that was disconcerting, but the mall itself I thought was concerning, is that like everywhere had a line. Like, so you have
Like, it was
people
that busy?
walking through the mall, and then every store had a line to get in. I'm just thinking, this is why we can't have nice things like normal.
Yeah. This is why we continue to go on and off. We have a on again, off again relationship with opening up.
Yeah. So that was like things like Apple Store. Okay, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are not even buying. It's just people who need help with products.
Yeah, and I will say, I know, like with App Store, like at Best Buy this last week, I must have had at least 5 people angry about the fact that they couldn't go just into the Apple Store to do something, because like as we know, and maybe our listeners know, Apple likes to control a lot of things, right? Your phone is, there's like one way to do every single thing. iPads, MacBooks, watches, all that kind of stuff. The software is very limiting in the sense that you can only do things a certain way. And it extends to their retail stores where no matter what, you have to call and like make an appointment to be there. So
Yeah.
that they can say like, all right, between 6 and 6:30 we will have 17 people in the store. And at 8 o'clock we will have, 4 people in the store. And then so people were getting upset because they're like, well, I just wanted to go and, ask about how to whatever reset my Apple ID password, and they wanted me to make an appointment. And I was like I get it, because like it should be a very speedy thing just to go in somewhere and be like, I got a new phone and I haven't had to put in my password for whatever, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I don't know how to change that. Like, it's a pretty common problem. But at the same time, like, I don't know, there's a forgot my password button directly underneath where you're supposed to put it. If you can't figure that out either, like, that's I don't know. It's just like, I don't think something like that is worth making an appointment for, and worth complaining about. Like, one person in your life can help you reset your password. Everyone has at least one person they can go to.
Yeah, like I got an email from Google saying that my passwords were showing up on like wherever, and I should change my passwords. And I had a list of like 60 some accounts that I had.
Yeah.
And one of them was Apple, and it is hard to make the change of a password in this day and age on a computer for something like that versus on the device, because I didn't have my phone. My phone was
because they send you like either a text code or an email code.
Yeah, so I was like, well, let me just get my laptop out, and then I will just, it's easier with the keyboard, start doing number combinations and stuff like that for 60 some accounts. And I was able to blast through all of them except for Apple. I had to go get my phone and do it on it.
Yeah.
But like you said,
and
it's easy
it
on the
signs
device.
You out.
Yeah, and then I'm getting the 2-form identification, so I have to go get my iPad in order to get the code.
Oh, would you just change your password?
So like, if I had a MacBook or a Mac desktop, I could have been doing it all at once, and that would have been my second device.
Yeah.
I got all those changed. I didn't know that I had so many accounts that I don't use that had passwords that were
old passwords, similar passwords. Yeah.
A lot of accounts that we had with like
WordPress and all
podcast that. And the Conduit when we were making the app for the
that's
website.
Right.
And then like old Hydro accounts.
Yeah, I'm very, like, I've very much been into the like password manager scene for like 5 years, and so my passwords aren't usually very insecure because I just look it up in my password manager. But the annoying thing is, every once in a while when it asks you to like change the password because it's been 6 months or whatever it is, it's not annoying, but it's like everywhere else that I have to sign in, I usually end up getting the password manager to like make a new like generate a new one for me, and I usually make it like 12 to 15 characters, and then so to like look at it and like change the password I'm like, okay, here we go. But it's a small price to pay to not use the same password for every single thing, or add a 1 to the end or an exclamation mark or an @ sign.
Well,
and then forget which symbol you used.
No, it has to be password 1 exclamation mark.
But then when you have to replace it,
Password 2 exclamation point.
But you don't know. Maybe you have to replace them on a different cycle. So that some of them are 1, some of them are 2, some of them are @ signs. Who knows?
Yeah, that when I was having to change passwords for our ticketing software back in the day, and you can only use various like combinations. It's like, oh, this one's too similar.
Yeah, or like, you have 3 letters that are, or like 1, 2, 3, so you can't do that. But if you choose 1, 2, 4, that's okay.
Yeah,
that'll show.
Yeah,
no one's gonna cut through that code.
You can't use senators with a 5.
Yeah,
you can use senators with an S but a 3 instead of an E. Then you're okay. That was not my password. Well,
there's like there's definitely some places where my password is more out of convenience, like places that I have to type it, every 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something. Like at Best Buy, it's a pretty simple password that I can type through quickly. But for everything else, like it just, I don't know. I'm a password manager guy. If you guys aren't using password managers, do it. It's worth it.
Yeah. Similar situation when I worked at Blockbuster. Gather around, kids. So Blockbuster was a store where you could rent physical copies of movies and video games.
On a Friday night, that's where we'd be. But now we're here.
Yeah. Yeah, Blockbuster in Canada was great because it was right next to the Dairy Queen.
That's right.
So you go in, get your movie, and then get yourself a tasty, frosty treat. After like 4 or 5 minutes of non-usage on the computer, you got kicked out. So everybody would just go up to the keyboard, and their passwords to log in was literally just like slide your finger from like 7410 or from L to A, and then you're logged in just because that's what you wanted when you have to quickly hop on a computer for.
So I actually tried to do that at Best Buy. I was trying to just do because I try and type correctly, but I always use my left shift no matter which side of the keyboard I'm trying to capitalize. Like instead of, if I'm trying to type capital R,
I don't think I ever touched the right.
You're supposed to use the right shift when you're capitalizing letters on the left hand side, but I don't. It's always the left shift, and so
you stretch your hand out as far as it can fucking go.
Oh, absolutely. Well, no, because I capitalize the letters on the right hand side. That's fine, but yeah, for capital W, it's like left shift and then W with my left hand as well.
Yeah,
but as passwords go, I'm like, well, the easiest way to get a password where my hands are already sitting is IJKL, right? Like that's just IJKL and then 7410, because you're just like, and then slide your hand down on the number pad. It's so easy. And then Best Buy was like, oh, IJKL is 4 letters in a row, like for consecutive letters from the alphabet. And they're like, yeah, that's it's too easy to guess. I'm like, what? How? What kind of monster is using IJKL as their password?
Well, joke's on you, it's the default.
Yeah, so
that's the problem.
So it didn't let me do it. So I had to choose another one that was a little bit easier, but still, that was
JKLM. Tick that.
I might just do JKL colon actually.
Ooh, not the semicolon. You got to shift semi.
Yeah, well, that's the.
No one's gonna guess
that. My finger never rests. Yeah, not semicolon. Come on.
Just gotta full colonize it.
Got JKL / Whoa, mix it up a little bit.
You, sir, are living on the edge.
And then I'm gonna forget and be like, why isn't my / working? All right.
Does anybody use / anymore? Like, does anybody actually use the slashes anymore?
No. I mean, sometimes.
Like when you hear like, let's go, I'm Instagram.com/opencolorpod. Like we say that, but it's really
Yeah.
like anyone else is like, oh, you can just find me on Instagram at whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
And they leave
Because
it
you're never gonna. I mean, I guess you could go on to like on your web browser and go to Instagram.com/whoever, but at the same time, if you're gonna do that, you're more likely just to go to Instagram.com and then search for
I feel as
you
though
know,
like the at is the new AOL keyword.
yes, and the ICQ number.
Yeah.
Ah, man, we had so many numbers to remember when we were younger.
And which is like surprising, like we were able to remember, like
Oh,
remember
oh
all
my God,
that,
yeah.
and then remember like cheat codes.
Yes. I
Yeah.
used to like Game Genie codes were like, oh, now I can't remember them, but they were like hex numbers, right? It was always like letters, numbers,
Yeah,
like everything. And I used to know so many of them just like off the top of my head. I didn't even need you, Nintendo Power.
and then you have like all the directional cheat codes, like in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this gives me all these weapons, or this gives me full health and full ammo.
And then
you're
like
just
in
springing
Sims and
those
stuff
off.
like that. Yeah. Sims, Doom. Who wants to
Sims was
play a
it?
game the straight way?
It was like Motherload or something. Was like all like you just get like all the money or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
And then
I was,
you could just do exclamation mark to like copy paste basically.
yeah.
Good times.
And now we can't remember like anything.
Yeah.
It's like, why did I come in here for again?
We're like
I guess I'll make a
Open-
sandwich.
open the phone to check the time. 10 minutes later, like get distracted. And you're like, wait,
Yeah.
what did I do this for?
And then yeah, like we're because Ashley's mom's been with us. She's been working this week, so today she actually didn't work. So we're just watching a bunch of game shows and stuff, and they have like just useless trivia. Like one of the questions was, how do you like how is 2021 represented in Roman numerals? And so I spouted out, and it's correct. And Ashley's mom's like, oh, like I didn't know 1,000 was M. And I'm like, oh yeah, you don't remember from in 2000 when it was Eminem. Like Eminem's had this big promotion because it was like their year. And she just turns to her mom and goes, yeah, he knows a lot of stupid stuff.
Well, it's like also
She's like, I like that's the stupid things I remember. Remember cheat codes. Remember stupid promotions for Eminem. Hey, that's the candy, and that's
Yeah.
why they're trying to capitalize on the new millennium.
See, I wouldn't have. I don't think I remember that, but I would have. Like I know that C is 100 and M is 1,000 because of like C for century and M for
Yeah.
millennium, and so I'm like that's where I would have went. But like it makes sense that Eminem would just like jump in on like that
Oh yeah,
money train.
and as we all know, you learn Roman numerals from the Rocky movies.
Yeah, of course.
To
I
take it
mean,
back to the Simpsons.
only up to Rocky 12. Adrian's
Adrian's Revenge.
After that, then you got to start watching Creed movies.
Yeah. But speaking of Adrian's Revenge, so today was the series finale because that's what it was titled. But it could very
Was
well
that
be
the title?
series.
I didn't even. I was just
Yeah,
like
it was
too
called
excited.
the
I'm like, play.
series finale. It may have been, it may not have been, but episode 9, WandaVision, wrapped things up. I don't know. Is it too early? Should we wait to sit down with our man Steve and go deep dive later, or just give
Yeah,
a quick?
I think we
run
can
through?
like we'll discuss kind of our thoughts and stuff. But I think with Steve, I think he'll have a much more or like a much better insight on, what the future holds and what some of the, I don't know, like what some of the stuff might mean for Loki or for movies or, especially Doctor Strange. That was a
Alright,
pretty huge
so we
reference.
can-
So
we can just go with thoughts, and then I guess within thoughts we can.
yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it.
Spoiler eyes and whatever.
Yeah, I think the people watching WandaVision are generally watching it on the Friday or Saturday. So even if this doesn't come out for a couple of
Yeah,
days,
from what I heard, like this is I think the second week in a row where Disney had problems,
yep,
technical problems because of which is great because like when they announced this show, both you and I were like,
yeah,
we're not looking forward to this.
no, and I'm pleasantly
thought, like,
surprised.
the name was like retarded.
We were like, what's going like there's
Yeah.
because I mean I thought that was just like kind of like a placeholder, not a placeholder, but it was just like, okay, it's starring Wanda and Vision, and so yeah, it's called WandaVision because like we didn't really know too much about the show.
No, and like even going into this, we didn't really know too much about the characters. They were probably the least interesting, or what some of the least interesting, Hawkeye aside. Who's also getting a show.
don't, you can't just take that away from Black Widow. Come on.
Well, you know, Budapest.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so they were like or I guess the most boring characters this side of Iron Fist.
And there's the Iron Fist reference for the episode.
So yeah, we were not looking forward to it, and then like the first trailer, and then like these images came out, and it kind of piqued my interest a little bit. And then the full blown trailer came out, and then I'm like, okay, I'm on board. And then, as we mentioned when we talked with McCoy a couple weeks ago, which was like the first two episodes. Well, a lot of people were like, "The fuck's going on here?" I was all on board, and as it progressed, I was really on board. And
that was the thing. Like the thing that got me on board, at least early episodes, was like less so they like the story and hey, what's going on and whatever, but just like, you know, how often do we talk about nostalgia bringing us into, you know, like just making us happy. And so having that nostalgia of older shows and being like, I remember when a show like this used to be on TV.
Oh yeah,
and so like it was like that was the first 3 episodes. I was just like, I didn't even care about the actual storyline at all. Just every episode, I was like, oh man, this makes me want to watch this. This makes me want to watch whatever. And like,
I really thought of downloading the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah, there you go. And so like, I think that was a really good hook for them. Was, you know, the first couple of episodes, if the first couple of episodes were shot like the last couple of episodes, I may not have been as interested, like, for the whole series. But by the time they got to the point where they stopped being like a TV show kind of thing, at that point I was invested enough into the story and wanted to know what was going on that the second half of the season, I guess, or series, you know, it didn't matter that it wasn't, you know, my favorite kinds of shows and stuff like that. So that was a good hook for them. Well done, Disney. You guys seem to know what you're doing.
Yeah, I didn't think when this got announced and started watching it that by the end of it I'd go, oh, this is 9 episodes of watching a character deal with her grief of the massive amount of loss that she's experienced in her life. Like that is the
experience and caused.
And caused, yes.
Yeah.
Like that is what this show was. Like to me, this is basically 6 hours if you put it all together and take out the credits.
Well, 6 hours of credits and then like 3 hours of show.
Is basically it's like kind of what we got the first hour of Endgame, but just more in depth. It's like those characters in Endgame experienced like failure and had to deal with the loss of loved ones and colleagues and letting the world down. And this Wanda, like she got dusted, right? Blipped or whatever you want to call it, snapped. And now that she's back, this is her processing the loss of Vision, and
who couldn't come back.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing too. Like we're trying to figure out how the hell is Vision alive, and we learned that he wasn't. It's all a manifestation of again,
and there were so many kind of misdirections of Hayward being like, oh yeah, she came and stole him, and and then it's not until like what, episode 8 that we find out that she didn't steal him at all. Like, but it makes, like, when he says that at the time, you're like, yeah, that makes sense that she did that, because maybe someone dealing with that grief would go to those lengths. Would, maybe that's the stage of grief, the denial, or the what's the other one, bargaining, where it's like, no, it's not going to happen. I'm gonna figure out how to make this better, and doing all this stuff. So you're like, yeah, maybe she did do that. And I don't know, I at the same time I was kind of like, you feel bad, and you're like, yeah, I'm okay with her doing that, to help, but to keep her sanity, and keep her in a good place. But then we find out that wasn't the truth at all. like so many things.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and I know, like, going into the finale, I think the creator or writer or director, I can't remember who exactly, but said that the finale itself is going to be a letdown for a lot of people, only because they built up so much in their head of what it's going to be, that they're going to be let down by what it actually is.
Yeah.
Now, seeing that, and then, like, because I always thought from the get-go that there was she was going to be the villain, and if she wasn't the villain, it was going to be revealed that there was somebody running this whole thing. It was neither. So when we got that understood going into the finale, I kind of thought there probably is not going to be that much, like, meat left on the bone to satisfy what I was hoping to be. So I kind of lowered my expectations substantially. And I don't know about you, but for me, this came across as, like, every episode, all 8 episodes to me seemed very much like an MCU movie that was just cut down. This finale seemed like a Netflix finale where you have 50 minutes to fill, you wrapped it up really early, and then dragged the last 10 until you were done.
Yeah.
Like, Stranger Things is, I love Stranger Things, but I've found every season the finale was been lacking.
Yes, absolutely. But, like, the first 9 episodes always make up for it.
Yeah, and so, like, you don't even care. Like, it's a lackluster.
And because you likely didn't wait a week to watch it, so you were like already amped up from the last 9 hours. Yeah.
I was going, like, do I finish this or do I watch it tomorrow? I'll finish it.
Always.
I'm on a high. Yeah, I'm on a high.
Yeah. For me, it felt like there were a lot of loose ends. Like you said, there's so many things that it could have been, right? There was rumors about
I thought Mephisto was going to
Agnes, Mephisto, and then there was like,
come back.
What's the situation with Pietro and all that stuff? Like, they had so many things to kind of wrap up.
Yeah, who was
like,
the engineer?
And they weren't all huge things, but some of them were bigger than others. But it seemed like, I don't know, like, for me, the last episode, they wrapped something up, moved on to the next thing, wrapped it up, moved on to the next thing, wrapped it up, moved it on. And I was like, it just, I don't know, for some reason, it didn't seem to flow as well for me.
Especially the 2020 Vision fight.
Yeah.
It's like it was a fight, and then, hold on. My prime directive is destroy Vision. Well, I'm not Vision.
Yeah.
Are you Vision?
And then it's like, all right, thought experiment to win. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Also, I need to stop, like, or not, I need to stop watching things like that, but they need to stop with the whole, like, laser beams that, like, counteract each other in movies and shows. Like, I was actually recently watching Iron Man 2, where they do the same thing, where, Tony and Rhodey, like, shoot their beams at each other, and then it explodes. And Vision and
Avengers,
White Vision, right? Same thing.
It was like Tony blasting was it Thor's hammer?
Yeah. And like all that stuff where it's just like
It
the
makes good
same,
for,
yeah, like the
makes for a
same
good
weapon.
like imagery.
Yeah, like exactly. It makes for good imagery, but it's in every single thing. Like in Harry Potter when the
Yeah.
two spells are going at each other, or like this, the Vision's Mind Stone, whatever. Like okay, you know it's coming, and it's just it doesn't hold the
Yes.
same appeal as like the first time something like that happened.
No, and like you have two ways it's going to go. Either it's going to like counteract and it's going to explode, or you're going to have someone firing off and then the bad guy firing off, and then you're going to see their color of stream overpowering the other one
Yes,
to the point where like the hero
it
gives
gets
up
really
and then
close.
yeah.
Same
That's-
like
yeah.
X-Men did it too, right? With Iceman and whatever flame on
Fire
Fire
ice.
Dude. They call him Fire Dude. But yeah, I mean,
No, I hear you. It's cliche.
that it was just it was that one scene where I was like, ugh, here we go.
Well, they did it too. Even
Yeah.
Agatha and Wanda.
Yeah, exactly. They did.
So you literally got it multiple times in the same fight
The same
sequence.
one.
You had was it blue and yellow versus purple and red?
Purple and red.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, like the kind of final fight scene, I guess, between Wanda and Agatha. I didn't really understand it because it seemed like every other time, like whatever. I understand the whole runes thing, and she was doing that as a distraction, like feeding Agatha the power, but also casting runes. Like
Before even that, the
In
first
between.
fight sequence where she gets the kids free and tells the kids to go to the room, and then within 30 seconds a car goes through the house.
yeah.
Go to your rooms. Okay, mom. Run off.
And then
just
then Vision
throw
shows up
cars
and she's like, "Oh, it's okay. They're safe. They're in their room. Just as long as more cars don't fly through."
Yeah, there's a Ford Fiesta in the in the front foyer. That's fine. They're in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like, oh, she's firing off all her power, but she's also missing. I'm like, is she trying to destroy the hex at the same time? But
Yeah,
it was-
that was the first thing I thought was, well, at the same time she's trying to destroy the hex, and then maybe that meant that Agatha couldn't like contain the power within it.
yeah, and I was also confused too because like when she fired off her power before the Ford Fiesta getting thrown into the car the house, then like when her hand turns all like the ring gray,
Yeah.
and, like decrepit. I thought they were like setting up because it shows her like firing her power, then it turns gray, and then her power kind of goes away. That it was like either dampering or cutting her off, but then later it was just fine.
Yeah, like
I was confused by their use of that.
Yeah, it seemed like it was it was draining and it just had to recharge again. Whereas
Hold on.
before,
Put my hand in.
wait, hold on a second. And so at that point, yeah, it wasn't that Agatha was stealing her power or anything like that. Oh, that outfit though. But yeah, it wasn't as though. Yeah, it wasn't that Agatha was like taking the power. It was just like absorbing it for a bit, but then like Wanda was always able to like conjure it up again. So
Yeah.
and obviously she has a ton. So even if she were to give a bit of it to Agatha or like to sacrifice a bit, didn't seem to matter.
So we've established at the end of 8 that Wanda is supposed to be this, like, I don't know, is it like a mythical or like a
I think it was
prophecy or
I think
something
it was more kind of prophecy-esque.
So, like the Scarlet Witch isn't a nickname in the MCU. It is a being.
It's a title.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like not a witch that learns power, but a witch has just been granted power or something. Chaos magic, they're calling it. So I saw multiple theories, and I was trying to think when they announced it. So are they trying to say that? So yes, was, as we know, created, or she's a Nexus being, which is what ties into the multiverse, or are they trying to set this up for mutants, or is that all just going to tie into the? I think my theory is that she's a Nexus being, which ties to the multiverse, which is how we're going to be introduced to mutants.
Yeah, like I think this is going to be the way that Marvel gets to branch off into literally any direction they want to go to now, because they've planted those seeds of multiverse, and that like anything happening, people getting powers through like different means, all that kind of stuff. So now they can even like what's her name, Monica Rambeau, like getting power because she went in and out of the hex. Like she already had, that could be their way of saying, well, there's all these people that went in and out of the hex, and now they have some sort of magical power or some sort of thing. And then there's, obviously this is going to tie into Doctor Strange 2, because of the line where Agatha Harkness is like, something, you're stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme. Which, like, I don't know, did we not know that already, kind of? Like, it seemed as though in the Avengers, she was always kind of the strongest one, or the one with the most power, whether she could control it or not. Like, she almost beat Thanos on her own at one point.
Kevin Feige is like, always make sure that everyone knows that, too.
Yeah. And so, like,
and even before she stopped him cold in Infinity War.
Yeah.
And he had, what, 5 Infinity Stones?
Yeah. Yeah, because she almost beat him when he had none. But she pretty much stopped him when he had 5 out of 6, so.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, I found, like, with most MCU movies is that we go in, the story's told, we have questions, they answer them, we see what's coming up next. I found this one gave us a lot of questions, but didn't answer the most important ones. Or like they really set up stuff and then had no intention of like. There was like a good Lost. There was a good point of mention, like Monica saying, "Oh, I got this engineer friend of mine. Let's go check him out."
And we're like, all right, Reed Richards, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. And then, no, we just get like these random sword soldiers
like
showing
it
up.
Was,
like,
they were nobody's
tank. Here's this tank that, oh yeah, we got your specs, he put it together for you. Well, we still don't know who he is, and he never showed up. And then we find out that, she's going to go to space, and hook up with Fury, right? In the Skrulls. I thought possibly Hayward was going to be revealed to be a Skrull, which is why he was doing all that shit and then set up Secret Wars.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, again,
but that didn't happen.
At any point in time, anyone could be a Skrull. Like that, they could just pivot on a dime and
I didn't see the point of, hey, we have sword. This is new. The leader is bad.
Yeah, that was another. Like we don't need that anymore.
No, like you had just it, like we in was it Winter Soldier?
Yep.
They did it. That's a running theme in Shield, Agents of Shield.
Agents, yeah.
And then even in Captain Marvel, right? You find out that who Veers Carol Danvers is with, like they're all the Kree were bad all along.
Yeah.
So it's just like, come on, dude.
Yeah, it's basically it's at this point in Marvel movies, it's like if you're not a main, like a good main character, every other character that says that they're good is going to end up evil.
Yeah,
it's just if you weren't a main character, you were part of Hydra. That's it.
Obadiah Stane, even in Iron Man, right?
Yeah,
running
exactly.
Stark Industries is like, no, yeah, he tried to have Tony killed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Thor, Loki tried to have Thor killed. Like it's just the same.
And Odin killed.
And Odin.
And then Hela showed up and tried to have them all and had them all killed.
Had them all killed. And then there's New Master 69 wanted to kill Korg. Like, oh my god, when is this gonna end?
They create Ultron, and Ultron tries to kill
Oh
the
my
world.
god, yeah.
Then Ultron creates Vision, and then he tries to kill Vision.
Oh jeez. It's just nonstop with these guys.
Yeah, I do like. So yeah, we is Vision alive? No, Vision's not alive. But then yeah, Vision's brought back to life. But is now what's going with White Vision?
Yeah.
You think White Vision becomes Real Vision, or he
Well-
just has the memories of Real Vision, but still going to be not
Yeah, because
Old Vision?
it's I feel like at the end of the day they're gonna turn him bad somehow. Like one way or another, White Vision will be corrupted. But
Yeah.
who knows how? Who knows if he'll even like ever come back? You know, it might just be something where they just say, "Oh yeah, he flew off into the sunset," and you know,
That's the end of him.
that's yeah, and that's the last we saw of Vision.
I have to go. My planet needs me. Vision died along the way to his planet, to the home of vibranium.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing I was going to say. When I was talking about Wanda, if she was a mutant or not, because they do, when they do like the reruns, right, of the episode 8, when they go through her history, because remember she mentions in Age of Ultron about the building where her family was getting bombed, and
Yeah.
they waited 2 days for Tony Stark to kill them because the warhead was there. And then Agatha drops a bomb, like, oh, a missile didn't go off. Like, well, no, is you sure it didn't go off? Or is it that you used like a
You stopped
probability
it.
hex and prevented it from going off until you got rescued? See, that leads me to believe that, yeah, she's had powers, but people
But that-
typically didn't have powers at this
Yeah.
point in the MCU. Like, we were all led to believe this came from the Mind Stone, which then even in that flashback, it looks like the Mind Stone did nothing for her. She still had these powers.
Well, but see the way
She saw
I
the
saw
vision of herself of
it.
Scarlet
Well, no,
Witch.
the way I saw it was that the Mind Stone kind of like unlocked those powers. I'd
So
say.
it's the Amazing Spider-Man origin, where he was already Spider-Man. The spider bite just unlocked the
No,
powers.
oh no. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. I mean, like she had some powers, but you know, because I might be wrong in this, but I don't think that Wanda and Pietro were the first like human trials or whatever.
No, they're the only
for-
ones that
right.
survived.
They were the only ones that survived, and the reason they survived was because they already had, you know, something inside of them to you know, keep them alive, or that you know, they already had those powers, but the Mind Stone just kind of awakened those powers, stuff like that. That's what I got from that scene, was that she had those powers. She didn't know how to really kind of control it, but you know, as a self-defense mechanism, she prevented the bomb from blowing off. But then once the Mind Stone was able to like go deeper, then she was able to kind of figure out how to actually manipulate reality and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that's my question: is she a mutant, a Nexus being?
Yeah, I mean we'll
That's
find
for the
out in
fan
the
to
next
decide.
season of
Okay, so now she's effectively the Scarlet Witch. Now she's as we can see in this picture of Red Eyes. So the major thing is at the end, there's a post-credit scene. So we see Wanda, who's left Westview. What? And she's somewhere in the mountains in a cabin, which I thought at first was, what if it was Bruce Banner's cabin from Incredible Hulk?
oh yeah.
And so she's sitting on her porch, goes in because the kettle's going, but then we actually see she's in the astral
Reading.
plane reading the, was it the
Dark-
Darkhold? Yeah,
Darkhold, yeah.
So that's, I guess, the question here.
What
now.
do you call it? The Darkhold.
Darkhold. Well, la-di-da, Mr.
Ooh.
Frenchman. She's reading a spell book. Oh, a spell book.
A spell book.
The Darkhold. So yeah, she's in the astral plane, which is what we see on Doctor Strange do. And then we hear Billy and Tommy
kids.
screaming. So my question is, Doctor Strange, she a villain? Like, is she reading all this stuff just to learn to balance her powers and control them? Or she's just like, hey, this is interesting. I can be bad. And Billy and Tommy, are they other versions of him and say the multiverse, or them that maybe they're somewhere else being held by a certain Mephisto? We'll find out in, I guess, a year.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's probably the more likely thing. The last thing you said is that they will still be there, but in the comics, they're Mephisto's kids, right? Or Mephisto's arms. I keep seeing.
Yeah, because like,
or like
she makes
born out of.
Yeah, he helped create them as a deal or something.
Yeah, and so it might just be that
she's gonna make a deal. Maybe makes a deal with the devil to get him back.
Yeah, and just the versions of them that were inside the hex were like, she already knew what they were going to look like and stuff like that. So maybe they weren't actually real. They were just inside the hex, but the real versions are coming soon. She knows what they're going to look like and the powers they'll have and all that kind of stuff. So to like, Mephisto is very likely going to be a part of Doctor Strange 2. Like, is that
I don't know. They haven't really said anything.
Pretty much all but confirmed? I don't know.
Well, it's a multiverse, and he's
like
Mephisto's
anything.
Marvel's
Yeah,
devil, right? So
yeah.
I thought they were going to set up Mephisto in this, and then because the next thing they're going to go into is Spider-Man, and as you know, in Far From Home, that Parker's Peter Parker, his identity is not my son,
not Paul Parker.
his identity has been revealed, and one of the big things with Spider-Man was it One More Day, where he makes a deal with Mephisto, and that is to save Aunt May's life.
Yeah.
He gives up the world knowing that he's Spider-Man, which undoes Civil War, but also undoes his relationship with Mary Jane. So I thought maybe that we're going to set that up with here, continued to that, since that's next. That's why you'd have Mephisto show up, make a deal with Peter Parker, and everybody forgets he's Spider-Man. But it doesn't look like that's happening.
Yeah, I think the easiest thing they'll do is just they'll have one of the Skrulls.
Which is
I thought like it's the easiest way to do it.
What?
Where they can it's like the easiest solution that they can figure out in the first 10 minutes of the movie, kind of thing, where they're like,
have him stand
no,
there
look,
Spider-Man
I'm right here and Spider-Man's right here, clearly it can't be me, and then be like, oh, I guess Buddy was just lying again, like he always does, and then the rest of the movie they don't have to kind of keep worrying about it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, that would be that would be my cop-out way to do it if I was making the movie. I'd be like, I don't want to have to deal with this all movie. Let's just get it over with early. And now that they have the Skrulls, like, they can do that, so.
Moving on from Wanda. So you hear that his contract up, Tom Holland's contract's up after this movie?
With Sony or with Marvel or
Sony? Well, Sony owns the character, right? So it would be his contract. So he said he's officially off contract. Now,
that's okay. He's doing other stuff.
If they're gonna do the multiverse and bring back Toby and bring back Andrew Garfield, do you think that they'll just go that route and let this guy go?
I feel like if they were going to do that, it would be a
rumor that
pretty perfect way to get Miles in there somehow, and then just go that direction.
I did
I
see a
don't
rumor
think
saying that they were thinking of going back with Garfield. Like this was like a way of like they liked what they were doing and setting up their own universe. They fixed the character here with Tom Holland, and they're setting up the multiverse that they can just continue down that road with Garfield, and then like have their own universe, like have Tom Hardy and Morbius and all that stuff, and keep their Spider-Man that's separate from the MCU, but still kind of young enough that they can roll with him for a few more films.
Can he? I mean, I guess he is still pretty young looking. It's not a. He's not a Tobey Maguire-esque 42.
42 long, you mean his suit, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, like whichever, like I would
say,
prefer,
what, Spider-Man has done his run, let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Marvel has a shortage of characters. They have so many things that they're setting up. It seems as though Phase 3 has very few characters that are extremely well known or coming from the Infinity Saga, right? Because it's only Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and Thor, right?
Yeah,
are they? Those are the only. Oh, I mean Black Widow, but
it's prequel.
Yeah.
The next 3 movies are Spider-Man's coming out. Doctor Strange is filming. That's coming out, but Shang-Chi is the newest character.
Yeah, like that's the thing is,
Thor and Guardians 3.
Oh yes, Guardians.
That's all space. So it's
No, but I mean, just like their lineup for Phase 4 is like 75% brand new character, not brand new, but 75% like new to most people characters. So if they didn't have a Spider-Man movie in the next, like after Spider-Man 3, it's okay because they're setting up essentially a brand new universe without these characters.
Yeah, and we're getting the side characters or the lower tier characters getting shows like Hawkeye and War Machine.
Exactly.
And they're doing that. Nick Fury, right? He's getting one.
Something that one of my friends showed me this thing, and it seems as though for the rest of this year, Marvel has like something coming out at least once a week. So like, new episodes of WandaVision. When does Loki start? Like 2 weeks from now?
June.
Oh, June. So I thought something started in March.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. So whatever's happening next week, I don't know. But then after that, once a week, we're going to have a new episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. That'll get us into, close to June. That's going to lead us right into Loki. And it's like they're doing a really good job of making you go back to Disney Plus, right? Like Disney Plus doesn't have a lot of new things, right? Like Netflix has, you could watch all of Netflix and within 20 minutes there's like 17 new shows that are always popping up. With Disney, it's like you're watching old things that you love rewatching and whatever, but there's, I don't know, like I'm unlikely to really cycle through WandaVision again. Like I liked it and I might still watch it again once or twice or once again or something. But I haven't rewatched season 2 of Mandalorian. I liked it, but I feel like it ended and that was kind of it.
You'll watch it again before 3.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I'll do that.
And you'll watch WandaVision again before Doctor Strange.
Yeah. But
or if somebody cuts it all together into like a 3-hour movie.
Yeah. But it's not going to be it's not going to be something like Netflix where I'm probably not going to watch it again, but there's always something new to watch. Every single day there's a new whatever to watch. With Disney, it's like right now, what's that movie? Someone in the Last Dragon, Maya,
Yeah,
Raya,
Raya,
um,
Raya.
and like that's cool. That's new. I'll watch it in 3 months or whatever when it's not on the premiere thing. Um, but I don't know. I just feel like I really like Disney Plus, but I'm using Disney Plus to watch a lot of, I mean, especially now with Star, actually. Futurama's on there, Family Guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like you could with just The Simpsons of like 32 years, 19 years of Family Guy. There's what 8 or 9 seasons of Futurama.
I think
Like
yeah,
right there.
seven or eight. Plus, like
Seven or
they
eight.
have their like movies. They
Yeah.
have those like hour-long episodes.
Like
or
that's a
2
year's
hour
worth
long.
of content just
Oh
watching
my God.
like a half an hour of that every day.
Absolutely, there's so much.
I'm surprised King of the Hill's not on there.
You know what? I saw I can't remember if it was like, I think it was just an Instagram post, and it was just like set to the King of the Hill music, and people, it was just like the time lapse thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
man, I miss that show. That boy ain't right.
I was just looking at it. It has what the Cleveland Show. It's got Family Guy, Futurama, The Simpsons. I'm like, why? King of the Hill was on there for a long time. It was a Fox show. It's now owned by Disney. Like that is probably of all the shows the least offensive of all of them. And it's not on there.
It's
weird,
there,
man.
I'm sure.
It is weird. I want to switch over to the other side of the Marvel and DC comic book world, to DC. So you hear J.J. Abrams is going to be working on a reboot of Superman.
Yeah.
And I was thinking before, because they said there was a possibility it was going to be a black Superman. And I thought to myself, I think it was Idris Elba when they was talking about possibly him being the black James Bond. And I think he made a comment or something about, why would we have to have a black James Bond? Why can't we just have like a character like a James Bond that is black? Like not take a character and just switch him up.
Make him black?
Yeah. And I was thinking the same thing about Superman, because I thought it's a heavy burden to have on an actor and a studio to, like, you just got to walk a fine line, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You could do it, fine, or whatever.
Well, because they're doing that, right, with the new James Bond, but it's a female Bond.
Right, and she's not Bond, she's 007, so it's
Yeah.
like their way around it, which, then I heard, I guess I don't read, like, Earth 2 or whatever, but the point of the story is they are doing a black Superman, but it's not Clark Kent. It's,
Blark Blend.
Blackula.
Yeah.
Calvin Ellis
Okay.
of Earth 23. So this is a run they did in the comics, where is a different Kryptonian who basically same origin story. He just happens to be black.
On a different, yeah.
Yeah, so you're doing Superman. He will be a black Superman. He's just not gonna be Clark Kent. Which I guess is having you're still like Miles Morales. You're adapting the story of another character who has donned the moniker
The suit.
or the suit.
Yeah.
I think that's
Like, I'm okay with that.
yeah.
I
think that's, again, not to say that you can't. They can do whatever the hell they want. They make Clark Kent black, because they do that stuff all the time. I feel as though you're gonna have the same problem that you had with the reboot of Fantastic Four, which again was a stupid backlash. But you're gonna have backlash.
Yeah.
Like Johnny Storm has always been white, but now you're making him black.
Yeah, like if you're just making him black for the sake of being black, like it doesn't really, like, you can just
I think
they're
disservice
superheroes.
almost.
Like you can create new black superheroes. It's not like it's not like you have to choose something. Like, I mean, yes, there's less of a like back catalog of stories to go from, but maybe maybe this is where you can show off your like creative side and make something new instead of just rehashing like something that we've had, which is pretty much everything that happens in movies now.
Like I was like thinking, like the political climate that we're in now and how everybody is like just taking, just like the movie itself. You're taking Clark Kent, you're making him black. Now you're having a person of color who is not from this world being planted in America and being persecuted because he's being different. I just think is like, wow, a little on the nose. Yeah.
Or
And then,
maybe
like,
it is
what it-
for a time. Maybe it's exactly what a lot of people need to see. Maybe it's their kind of Black Panther where
No, I get that. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
what would you?
but-
I'm sure they would probably have Ma and Pa Kent being white. So then they have raising a child of color, who's also an alien. But
Yeah.
I think you.
but
always found it
maybe it'll be Pa and Pa Kent at that point.
There you go. But I said you do. I always found it funny on Supergirl that all the Martians are black when they're their Earth form. They're all black, played by black actors and actresses. Which is like, well, that's one way to go. But now you're just saying
Yeah,
basically every person of color in
Yeah.
National City is a Martian.
Like you really chose your angle there and went with it.
You see this nonsense about the potato head?
Like whatever. I'm so over this stuff. I'm so over people getting annoyed by it. Like
I was the first thing I
cares?
said to Ash about the potato head controversy was, we grew up with Toy Story, and they only ever referred to him as Potato Head.
yeah.
He referred
Except
to
for-
himself the one time where he says, "That's Mr. Potato Head to you."
Yeah.
And then when Mrs. Potato Head came up,
Exactly,
they always
I was
call
gonna say yes.
Yeah,
It
they always call him
until-
Potato Head. My kids, when because we have like a box full of them, and they say, "Can we play with the potato heads?" It's just the Potato Head, not Mr.
Yeah.
Potato Head. They don't even know was even the name. So who cares what's on the box?
Exactly. And like you know what? You could get a Mr. Potato Head and name him like Mary if you want to. Like you don't have to call him Mr. Potato Head.
What if I want to call him Mr. Potato Head?
Then you can. You're more than capable of doing any of those things. That's kind of the beauty of it.
Yeah,
But yeah, like this whole thing of
and
people
even then, like it's like now by dropping the Mr., you basically have taking it from like a toy to basically a brand. Now you can do anything with it.
yeah. Like,
it's like-
yeah, like
Potato Head, whatever sucks.
but it's Potato Chef.
Yeah, but Potato Head branded Potato Chef.
Yeah. But yeah, the people that are getting like uppity about this, I don't know, like F off,
I think it's the same thing
like,
with
how does it affect you at all? In what way, in what manner does this affect you at all? Like how does it
affects
change your
us
life at all?
greatly. I don't know. We're just the
like, they're
pendulum is
just-
swung too far one way. It's like the Dr. Seuss thing.
Well, the Dr. Seuss thing is even worse than the Potato Head thing. It's like no one is like it's the authors of the book being like,
Yeah, it's the
hey,
publishers.
yeah, it's like, hey, this was like questionable at best when we released it, and now we have, agreed that this is not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's not people like I don't really remember a huge uprising about, hey, we should get rid of and it's only like what, 5 books, 6 books.
Yeah, and I haven't heard of half the books.
Exactly. I'm like, it's not like they're saying you cannot read Green Eggs and Ham anymore, or that, oh, you know what, no more Lorax. Like that's not what they're saying. It's just that the publishers were like, hey, you know what? Like I don't even know which stories they got rid of, but like let's say they had a story and it was like about slavery, and
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, you know what? Like we're probably just gonna not have this. You know, we're gonna just stick with the A team of
Yeah.
Dr. Seuss.
And if you have those books, we're not coming and taking them.
Yeah, like they're yours. We're just not making any more. And again, it's the same sort of thing where like I don't know, at this point, if one of those books was your favorite book growing up or something like that, um I don't know. It seems like if that was one of the books, then maybe there's other like problems that you have to worry about. But it's so ridiculous that people are just like, well, they're just canceling Dr. Seuss. Like,
Nope,
well,
they're not.
really? Like, because that's absolutely not
Re-
what they're doing. But
Go
okay,
back. Go
like,
back and read that story.
yeah, like I would like you to read me the story and tell me this, like the part where it says you will never be able to buy a Dr. Seuss book again ever in your life.
Yeah, and again, for a world where people want to protect their art and stuff, if an artist decides that I don't want this particular art of mine to be out anymore,
That's their
that's
choice.
on the artist. Like you don't hear people freaking out saying, back when Prince found religion, when he stopped performing Dirty Diana and other overtly sexual songs that people were blowing gaskets over that.
Yeah.
Well, he's canceling his songs now
Yeah,
because
he's canceling himself.
yeah. Well, you're allowed to change your art.
And like, isn't that the point? Like all the
That's what growth's
all,
about.
Yeah, and isn't that all the thing? Like free speech and whatnot. Like free speech is also like you're free to not say something
Yeah.
or not write something or not release something you've written. Like it's the same thing, but it's I mean it's obviously just a political talking point to point fingers at the other side and say, look, this is what they're doing, but it's not. No one was asking anyone to get rid of, or I don't know, maybe some people were asking the publishers to get rid of these books, but maybe that was the thing that opened their eyes and they were like, oh, you're right. This is terrible. We should get rid of these.
Yeah, cause I think I read the article. It was like someone was asked like in a meeting like to review the material and to see if we had anything that would be considered offensive, and they said, "Well, we got this stuff here," and they said, oh, "Okay, yeah, maybe we should just scrap those."
Yeah. But like,
I'm sure also
didn't
they're like
Disney
how
did
are
that
those,
too.
How
right?
are those selling again? Not very well.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Like we talked about before when the kids were watching Peter Pan.
Yeah.
What makes the red men red? Disclaimer.
But even like much older Disney movies,
That's right. Song of the South.
like they stopped making that movie for a reason. That doesn't
Yep.
mean that they're canceling Disney.
No, Disney's canceling people.
Yeah.
Also, according
yeah.
to them.
Oh man. Oh.
It's a snake eating its tail. All right. Last bit of fun. So you've been seeing
Of course.
so Space Jam. Was it Space Jam 2 or just Space Jam?
I think it's just called Space Jam Legacy, but
Legacy.
I'm sure people will call it Space Jam 2 Legacy. Space Jam Legacy 2.
The streets.
I'm
I saw
excited.
some the article saying it's kind of like Ready Player One, but with Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Or I guess Warner Brothers.
I am
Characters?
a little
He's in-
I don't like the way Lola Bunny looks.
Yeah, that's now that you mention it, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
And also we have like CG rather than 2D.
Yeah.
If you look over Bugs's right
Ears.
shoulder, left shoulder, my
Oh.
right,
Yeah.
you have like the penguin from Batman 66. Like the Brutus Meredith over there in the corner.
Yeah.
Right there. And like you
But,
got other characters. But yeah.
I'm like
There you go.
yeah, that one especially. I'm like, no, not for me.
I don't know if the screen capture is true, and I really loathe Tucker Carlson. But apparently he was talking about this, and I think the caption said something about cancel culture, like has taken away Lola Bunny's like natural
Figure.
Yeah.
Oh my
Or
god.
like all naturals. I see if I can find it. It was on Instagram.
All right. Well, now I'm back on board with this.
Cancel
like,
culture.
and anything that's anti Tucker Carlson, I'm very pro that. God, that guy is he is probably like the top 5 of just terrible human beings.
Yes.
Terrible human being. Sorry. Terrible human beings with a platform.
Yeah, and even human being is too nice of a term.
Yeah, it's pretty generous.
Yeah, like what are we going with here with Lola Bunny? Again, not like everybody has to be overtly sexual or sexualize everything.
No, but yeah, I don't know. And it might just be it might just be this picture or whatever, but I don't know. We'll see.
No.
The movie's gonna be great. We both know it. It will win the movie of our hearts that year.
Her ears are on the one side. Is it supposed to represent like
A side pony?
Or like this, everyone's got like this shaved one side of their head. And
Yeah,
the hair on the other side.
it does look like that too, where she's got the little puff on top and then like short everywhere else. But no, I think the ears are supposed to represent like some kind of ponytail. So side pony, back pony, top pony.
I find like even if you like left her in the same like full size jersey and shorts, like even the old one it looks like her legs were far more like muscular in tone.
Yeah.
So like
it looks like the new one
give her
is
that
just
give
like
her that too.
Yeah, it just looks like the new one is like just all hips and that's it.
Yeah.
But it's a picture of a cartoon bunny,
Well, if Ryan was here,
Yeah, well,
look out.
And this is why he's not invited back. We have had the talk several times, and we have come to the conclusion that
it was better
Ryan is canceled.
I did send this to him the other day. He was not a fan. Let's see if I can find his. Because even when I was asking if he was available to come on tonight, he did bring that up again. Yeah, Lola Bunny. Where was it? Oh yeah. He says, "You monsters," and then just
you monsters,
and then pause, and then a few minutes later, and the legs.
So yeah,
he noticed it.
It's like you asked mom to play a pickup game. Is what I'm looking at. The Lola Bunny 2.0.
Yeah.
Like,
but hey, this is 25 years later, so
yeah, she had a couple kids.
Who knows? Yeah, she looks pretty good for her mom, let's say.
Post COVID, getting the quarantine 15.
Yeah, exactly. Do we know that this movie's going to be post COVID? Because it was announced like a while ago. I wonder if the story ever got changed or if the plot
evolved.
got updated for the times.
No, I don't think it did. I think it's something that was done a long time ago and just took years of animation.
Yeah.
Although I was speaking of animation, I was going to bring up, I think, a show or two ago, but Blue Sky Studios is officially done, so we'll never have another movie from them. I think the last thing they did was the Charlie Brown movie, the Peanuts movie.
What was
I
it?
don't remember. But the home
Something
of
around there.
Ice Age is no more.
No more.
Yeah.
Peace out, Seacrest.
Peace out, Seacrest. Man, The Office. I was watching those again, just killing time between other shows. You don't make TV like that no more.
So there's an episode of The Office, there's a few that I if I see it, I won't try to watch that show, but if it's like on, I'll probably leave it on. There's one episode that I just cannot watch, and I think it's my least favorite episode of the entire series.
Is
And
it a
that
Michael
is
episode?
no, it is the christening episode.
Okay.
The christening, and then the little lunch party, and them
Yeah,
going
there's
to.
a lot. There's a lot wrong in that episode.
I'm just like, oh, like it's not funny. Nothing exciting happens. I can't. I mean, okay, so and that's not counting like the clip shows and stuff like that. Those ones.
Most people say the hardest one to sit through is Scott's Tots.
Yeah, well, that one, I think
But
that's
at least there's funny parts.
yeah, I think that's a funny. Like, I think that is a good, like, it is a cringy episode, but it is a good growth episode for Michael. Like I think that shows, Michael's like positivity and his like confidence in himself, and the fact that he actually does want to do the right thing. Like,
Yeah.
he told those kids that, not just to say it. He wasn't just saying it offhand and then being like, whatever, I'll deal with it when I deal with it. Like, he did want to help them. And I think that's a very commendable thing. Just unfortunately, with his monkey problems, it didn't work out. But that one's cringy. I think that, like, it sucks for him, but I think that shows how good of a person Michael actually is, that he would be willing to kind of work towards that.
Yeah, it reaffirms what you thought throughout the shows. He always is the one that's trying to please everyone.
Exactly. And like, he's he's the one that will go to Pam's art show. He's the one that will and go there because he wants to go there, not just because he has to, because he's the boss or anything like that. Like, he's actually everyone in the office's number one fan.
Yeah.
Except for Angela.
And Toby.
And Toby, of course. Toby doesn't count.
To your point about the christening one, I don't like shows and movies where there's a scenario that takes place and it's something that could be easily resolved, and it's affecting the smartest people in the room, but for some reason in this scenario, the smartest people in the room are somehow the dumbest people.
Yeah.
Like, so they had a small post christening thing for just like the family and stuff, and everybody shows up, but they easily could have said, listen, this is not the case.
Yeah.
The
the minister misspoke, and it's actually just for a few of us. And like, I get it, of course, doing that means there's no show, but maybe that's the way to go. Maybe that didn't need to happen. Like, maybe we just didn't need a show for that.
And it sucks that when you apply logic to, and I'm sure you can apply logic to half the show, and it wouldn't happen.
Absolutely.
But when Michael and Andy and get on
the bus,
the camera crew is not going.
Yeah, exactly.
But a cameraman gets on the bus.
Yeah.
Like, you could easily have done all of that by showing the outside of the bus.
It would just, they wouldn't have the one scene where they're in the bus being like, well, that was a bad idea.
Stop the bus.
Yeah,
stop the dang bus. Yeah, that, I've said it before. Anything that's really outside of the office, given the premise of the show, should never have taken place.
I think some of them are useful when all of the characters are together, like things like Beach Day.
But that's related to Office. But I don't think Jim's barbecue, right? I don't think he would want a camera crew in his house.
Yes, fair.
Like just it's that kind of stuff. Michael, I can get Michael wanting to have a camera crew for his dinner party, or Michael having a camera
Yes,
crew showing up at his improv class, or
Gotta
a camera
be-
crew showing up when he's selling stuff on the phone.
Yeah.
Pam,
he would
Pam
want,
having
he
a
would
camera
want
crew
the
at the
attention.
hospital, that wouldn't happen.
No.
I like when you see the scenes and like people think back. Like imagine watching this documentary back and finding that Pam breastfed the other woman's baby.
Yeah. So funny. It's always I've been watching a bunch of like poker highlights recently.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
like from years ago and stuff like that. And it's always fun because like that after they played in that tournament or whatever, like they're gonna watch it back and see what happened, and like the times that they get bluffed out, they're just gonna be like, how did I not know that? Or the times where they maybe made a bad play or whatever, like being able to see the other person's hands after the fact, and like how annoying it would be, and or even just sometimes being like, wow, I played really well, like I can't believe I didn't lose all my money on that hand.
Yeah.
But then like there's like going back to something like The Office. Well, so there's this one, I can't remember which season it was on Survivor, but so there was something and it was like near the end of the season, I guess, but it was like the family visits like episode. And so the guy has like his best friend come on, and they're just like the first thing he's like, how's grandma or whatever, and the friend's like, no man, like she didn't make it, I'm so sorry. And they have this big like emotional moment, and then it shows them too like afterwards on their own, and they're like, man, that was such a good performance, like good job. And like such a slimy move to like and then like in his little talking head he's like, yeah, my grandma's probably watching this right now, like cheering me on and whatever. And I was like, that's such a good move. Most people wouldn't do it because afterwards when you see someone like do that, and then there's a lot of people that whatever, that he didn't win the reward or whatever, but someone gave up the reward for him, right, so that he could spend time with his friend and like talk about his grandma and stuff. And he was just like, yeah, that was a great performance, man, good job. And like it worked out. But yeah, like I would, if I was watching that back afterwards, I'd be like, I'm gonna kill that guy probably. like we're gonna have words.
Yeah, this is not over.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched Survivor after like the initial season when everybody watched it.
I didn't get into Survivor until like really late, probably like 10 years ago, so like halfway through. So like there's some strategies that when I first started watching I was like, why are they even doing this? But it's because just from older episodes and stuff like that. I almost thought about signing up for the free trial of like CBS All Access
Paramount
for the
Plus
first. Yeah, well, we don't have that, right? It's still CBS All Access for us.
No, it's Paramount Plus.
It's Paramount Plus.
Yes, sir.
And just to like binge watch the first 10 seasons in the like first month or whatever, the free month trial. But then I never did it because I didn't have the time to watch that much TV in a month anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Eventually, I'll probably get around to it.
Yeah, there's too many.
Yeah, I mean they do two two seasons a year. So like they're on Survivor, 40 something because they've been on the air for 20 years.
Yeah, I don't like how they do that. Makes the
It's
show seem
crazy.
like it's been longer than it is. Like, oh, we're season 40. Like, what?
Yeah,
This
we're-
happened like 3 years ago?
Yeah, exactly. A new season every month.
Which is ironic because that's what we used to do with podcast episodes. Every 10 was a new season.
That's
so
right.
we were like on season 8.
It's like we've been doing this for 8 years. Well, I mean, it did take us 8 years to get that far, probably. But still.
Or on episode 4.
Yeah.
Season 8.
Yeah, we're on season 8, episode 3. Not actually episode 3 of season 8, just total episodes.
Season 3 through 7 have been recaps of the first 2 seasons. And now here we are. Yeah, it'll be another 2-3 years before we actually hit the 100 episodes.
Yeah,
We have 25 to go.
we got time.
Unless we're like Michael, Scott, and Brownies, we'll start parceling them up. Save some time. Alrighty. So that is open caller for this week. Want to follow us socially? You can just add us at Open Color Pod, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Or if you want to view the shenanigans rather than listen, subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/govnc. Once we hit that plateau where we can rename, we will rename.
We will.
Have it all uniform. So for Vishal, this is Corey reminding you to keep it casual.